I withdrew this cash yesterday for the purpose of this particular video. And if you can see right here, we have $100. And right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have $1,000 right here, and we have $100 right here. To move from here to here when it comes to Forex trading is just a process which I'm going to be showing you guys on this video today. And if I have to go back in time 10 years to start in Forex trading again on a $100 account, these are steps I'm going to follow to get to $1,000, and from $1,000 to get to $10,000, to get to $100,000, to get to $1 million. So pay attention, make sure you have your pen and paper ready, and I'm going to be showing you guys how, if I was going back in time to start from zero, how I will start from a $100 account and I'll compound my way to $100,000, which is what I've done a couple of times and I've documented on this particular channel. So if you are ready for us to go, make sure you smash that subscribe button below to subscribe to the channel. And if you've been watching my content and you haven't subscribed, you need to do that so that you are always updated anytime I come up with awesome content like this. So we have $100 right here, right? And on this $100, this is when you already have the basics of Forex trading. You already have an idea about Forex trading, and then someone just gifted you $100 and say, okay, that's your starting capital. Start with $100. This is the process you're going to follow. Let's go to the next slide, all right? So on the next slide, the most important point you have to notice, let's change our color. The most important point, or let's just say points to note, all right, points to note. So number one on our list is you are not going to become rich on that $100, all right? So use that $100 as a learning account, or as a learning account / fees. So this sounds funny when it comes to Forex trading, and here someone is talking about you paying your fees. Everyone, no matter how long you've been trading, you have to pay your fees, whether you like it or not. So that $100, consider it as if you're going to be using it to learn, you're going to be using it to practice your strategies, you're going to be using it to pay your fees, all right? Now, let's just assume now you have a strategy which is already giving you some consistent profit, a strategy you know, okay, if someone has to give me $10,000, even on this strategy, I will be able to make money. What do? You move from there to point 2, which is what we call leveraging $100. So how do you leverage this $100 at this point in time? So this is where you go to point 3, which is I'll ask you to buy a prop firm account, all right? A prop firm account. And talking about a prop firm account, that will take us completely to a whole different slide where we're going to be talking about the best practices when it comes to a prop firm account. With a $100 account, how do you approach a prop firm account? I wouldn't want you to deposit this $100 into your private account. I see people that come with crazy styles. They want to flip $100 to $1,000, $100 to $2,000. That's like making 2,000% of your account. It's unrealistic. You're going to blow it. So let's start with prop firms, and instead of you trying to flip that $100 to $1,000, let's instead go with a prop firm, get a $5,000 prop firm account, and look for 10% of that $5,000. That is very realistic. That's the one you can easily achieve, right? So with your $100, I want you to be able to do what we call give yourself room for failure. Give yourself room for failure, all right? So how do you give yourself room for failure? This is what we're going to be talking about now on this particular slide. So here we have our $100. Our $100 right here. And giving yourself room for failure, it means we'll have to now break this $100 down. And we'll start with $50 here and $50 here. Can you see this? So with $50, this is our normal $100. We're going to get get a $50 account. We're going to buy a $50 prop firm account, which obviously if we are using something like Lionheart funding program, a $50 prop firm account is going to cost you about, a $50 prop firm account, you're going to be buying a $5,000 account, and here you're going to be buying a $5,000 prop firm account. Can you see this? You started from your $100, and now since you already know that you need to give yourself room for failure, I'll advise you to buy 2 prop firm accounts. You split that $100 into 2, $50, $50. Here you can be able to buy a $5,000 prop firm account for $50. You can buy a $5,000 prop firm account for $50. Now you have 2 $5,000 prop firm accounts. Assuming you are just a beginner, assuming you are still just trying to figure your way in Forex trading, no matter what, at least our goal is to get one of these accounts from challenge phases to funded phase. All right. Now let's go from the challenge phase to the from the challenge to the funded on one of these accounts on the next slide. Remember, one is gonna pass, so we're gonna get one funded and one we're gonna fail one. We're just being realistic. Maybe the market is not going to go our way. Maybe there's going to be a fundamental news. We didn't see it coming, and we're going to end up blowing our account. So we're giving ourselves room for failure. Our goal is to get at least one of it funded at the end of the day. So we now have $5,000 in funding at the end of the day. We were able to blow one of the accounts due to the uncertainties in the market. Now let's go down to our $5,000 prop firm account, which with that $5,000, we now have $5,000. You've moved from talking about $100, now you are talking about $5,000 at this particular point. So with $5,000, let's change the color. We can then say, okay, I used to always obey the 10, 50, 10%. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So with 5,000, I want you, as soon as you hit between 5 to 10% on this account, I want you to request a withdrawal, right? So let's just say 10% right here. 10% of $5,000 is $500. Is $500. Can you see this? 10% of $5,000 is $500, and you withdraw. If you withdraw this and the prop firm pays you, let's just say 90%, what's going to be coming to you is going to be around. It's going to be around 400. Let's just say about $450, right? Now you have $450. Which originally you started with what? You started with $100. You have $450 at this point in time. But remember, when you're going through this series, you are not supposed to spend any of the money. You are not supposed to buy any dumb shit, nothing. You are just still in the process. You haven't gotten to that level where you start spending things, right? Good. Now you have $450. Originally, you started with $100, which is split it into 2, buy 2 prop firm accounts. You have $400 at this $450 at this point in time. 450, what I used to do at the beginning is I save 50% to my private brokerage account and 50% goes back to buying challenges until I get to the level where 50% of this is more than $10,000. Then I just push all into my private brokerage account and I only invest about $5,000 to $10,000 in buying more challenges. So since we are still below $10,000, here we'll be able to do this 50%. We'll go to what? To our private brokerage account, and then 50% will go back into buying more prop firms, buying prop accounts, right? So buying more prop firms, and this one will go to our private brokerage account. What is 50% of this? Those 50% of 450 should be around. This should be around $225. 225. It still looks small at this point in time, but don't worry. Before water fills a cup is drop by drop, right? So don't hurry. So now we have again 225 right here. 225, 225. This one, now this is the first time you're having $225 in your private brokerage account, maybe in your IC market account, maybe in your XM account, or whatsoever broker you are using. If you want to use my recommended brokers that have paid me more than $500,000, check the links on the video description to sign up with those brokers. So now you just have your first $250 in your private brokerage account, and that's not even all. You still have $250 to now buy challenges. We go down from here to the next slide, which from here we're just going to stand here. Remember here on the next slide, this is where we're going to be doing again. We're going to start again the whole process of 50. We're giving ourselves room for failure. 50, 50, 10, all right? So now and again, 250 is this one. We give again ourselves room for failure, which we're going to divide this into 2. This will be like about maybe 100. Let's just say $100, right? $100 and $100. Can you see how we're growing? So instead of now buying two $5,000 Pro Firm account, with $100, I think you can buy in LFP, I think you can buy maybe 15K, maybe 15K. Now you have 15K, now you have 15K. You start the whole process again. Can you see this? You start the whole process again. One of it is going to be funded and you lost one. One of it will be funded and you lost one. We are now interested in the one that's going to be funded. Can you see that? This is the one that will be funded. After we've gotten that one funded, remember we've given ourselves room for failure. After trading, at least our goal is to get one funded. We were able to lose, unfortunately, we lost this one. We got this one funded. Good. Now, since we got that one funded, let's move now to the next step, which is looking for 10% to request a payout. And then that payout, we split it into 2. 50% goes back to our private brokerage account. 50% goes back to buy more Pro Firm accounts. So 10% of $1,000 of $15,000 is $1,500. And if you withdraw that and your Pro Firm pays you 90%, you obviously be going home with about $1,400. Can you see? That's $1,400 at that particular point in time. Remember, our goal now is to break this down. Let me just put the 1,400 right here. We need to break it down now into 2. So 700, 1,400 is 700, right? 700 will go back to our $700 will go back to our private brokerage account, and $700 will go back to buy more prop accounts. Can you see? Now you've just added again. Now you've just added $700 again into your private brokerage account. Remember on phase 2, let's just go here and here on this particular phase, which one was it? On this particular phase, what did you do? You had already $250 here in your private brokerage account. You had $250 there, and then again, after on this particular stage, what do you have? Plus $700. So this is going to be the first time you're having $1,000 in your private brokerage account. And that's not even all. You also have what? You also have $700 to buy more challenges. Can you see? With $700, you start the whole process again. Can you see? This should be maybe around the number 3 or the number 4 month or the number 5 month. You've moved from $100. You're already standing on $1,000 in your private brokerage account. You're already standing on a capital. Remember, you even still had $5,000, which was funded on phase 1, plus $15,000. You're already standing on $20,000. You are even going down to a more bigger phase, which is what we're going to do now, right? So where is my ruler? Let's push to the next screen. Okay, it's going to be this one. Perfect. So let's go to this one. Remember, this goes to our private brokerage account. This one goes into buying more Pro Firm accounts. We are interested in the one which we use in buying more Pro Firm accounts. So if we go like this and go here, here, with $700, you can buy a 100K Pro Firm account and a $50,000 Pro Firm account, all right? So that's almost like $150,000. $150,000 divided by 2, that's going to be like 750, right? 75, that's going to be like 75,000. 75,000, so 75,000, maybe you can buy 150K, 125K, all right? So in this case, remember, I want to divide this by 2. We want to divide this, if we divide $700 by 2, we're going to have $350. So what challenge can we buy for $350? If you are using a coupon, maybe in LFP as a starter coupon, you can even get a 500K account, or you can even get a $100,000 account for $350. So here we have now what? We have 100K and 100K. Can you see how we are going? We have 100K and 100K. Our goal is to get one funded. That's the one we are interested, and we can say, unfortunately, we're going to lose one. Can you see? we're going to lose 1. So this one is lost, this one is funded. Let's go now to the next stage. Can you see how sweet this is? And this is very, very realistic. I did this last year and I moved from $100,000 to almost about $5 million by the end of the year with payouts more than 400,000. They documented everything on this channel. Go on my channel, you're going to see all the videos. It's not something that I'm formulating, right? So we've just gotten that one funded, and now we have a 100K account which is funded. Let's go down to our 10% rule, which is going to be 10% to request for payout. 10% of $100,000 is $10,000. Requesting a 90% of 10,000, which is your share coming to you, is going to be about, let's just say $9,000, right? It's going to be about $9,000. So let's just put here $9,000. Remember, we're dividing this by 2. The first one will be now $4,500, which goes to our private brokerage account, and $4,500, which goes to buying more prop accounts. Can you see? Remember, we already had, at this particular stage right here, just look at this. At this particular stage here, okay, we're here. At this particular stage here, we already had 700 in our private brokerage account, plus 700 plus 225, which was almost about $1,000. But now at this stage again, at this last stage, okay, let me just cancel this. At this last stage, we are having what? $4,500 plus that amount, meaning we are already having now about plus, let's just say plus 1,000, which is equal to $5,500. We're having about $5,500 in our private brokerage account at this point in time. Now, most of you guys in some countries are already becoming millionaires. If back in Cameroon, you already be talking about maybe 3 million, 4 million. You're already making your first million. All right. So you have already $5,500 in your private brokerage account, and here you have $4,500 to buy more challenges. Can you see? $4,500 to buy more challenges. This is where we are more interested now. And if you go from here, if you take this particular box and you go from here to buy more challenges, to start the whole process of 50% again, 50% again, you're going to be using about $2,250 on one account, $2,250 on one account. $2,000 you can buy $2,000 you can buy a 400K and 400K. Can you see? Can you see that 400K and 400K, one is going to be lost and we'll get one funded. The one that is funded, we're just looking for a way to do what? 10%. 10% of 400K is what? $40,000. The one that is going to be coming to us can be about $32,000. $32,000, you divide by 2, that's going to be almost about $16,000. So $16,000, $16,000. At this point in time, since it's $32,000, what I used to do is I don't invest more than $5,000 at a point in time in buying more challenges. So I'll just go on that $32,000, reduce $5,000, I'll still be having about $27,000. And that $27,000 all goes into my private brokerage account. My private brokerage account, I'm going to trade that one according to my own rules. No one is going to be dictating. No one is going to be telling me I violated any rule or anything. That go. So at this point in time, so we're just going to be investing 5K in buying more challenges. So buying more prop accounts. And here we're going to send 27K to our private brokerage account. Can you see that? So if we have to summarize now, how much is the total now in our private brokerage account? We have a total of 27 plus almost about $5,000. That's almost about $32,000 standing on our private brokerage account. And in terms of prop firms, remember we already had almost about $100,000 plus $20,000, about $120,000, and we're still going to be able to use this 5K to buy more challenges, which is going to be almost about plus the 400K. So we already had almost about 550, and at this point in time, we're going to be standing on about $1 million prop account. So you have $1 million in funding plus $32,000 in your private brokerage account. And you started with this. You started with $100, and within a year, remember I'm being realistic, this can take you maybe between 4, 5, 6 months, depending on how fast you're passing those challenges. Within a year, you move from a $100 account and now you are standing on what? You are standing on $32,000 in your private brokerage account and $1 million in funding. 10% of $1 million in funding is $100,000. That's why most of the time when you guys come online and you see possibilities like this, you just need to be silent, because when we showed you guys some of these figures, we already have a system that allows us to be able to make that kind of money. And this is the same thing I'm showing you guys on this video to say, okay, if I had to start from zero, if I had to start from a $100 account, this is the same thing I will do. If you've watched to this particular point in time, then I believe you were able to get some value from this particular video. The only thing I just want you to do is to leave a thumb up on the video. Let's have at least 1,000 likes on this particular video so that YouTube can push it to more people who will be able to see valuable information like this. And if you want to use my recommended prop firms, use my recommended brokers that will be able to allow you to withdraw with a peace of mind, then check the link below to use my recommended broker. And as always, I have a free Telegram community that will provide you free information and also teach you for free. So check my free Telegram community on the video description. And if you want to join my mentorship program where I'm going to be able to mentor you A to Z on how to trade Forex, check out Golov University, which is one of the best Forex institutions now. Link on the video description. Check out this video, which was another video I did by the start of the year showing you how you can start in Forex trading totally for free. Check out this playlist, which is something I've also prepared for you. And if you haven't subscribed, click here to subscribe to the channel. See you guys on these other videos. Peace.